Namaste. Welcome to a brief overview of business ethics. To put it in greater detail, we will be going into ethics in its four components, professional accountants, and the specifics as to what are the professional guidelines available to them, be it a lawyer or an accountant or a doctor. Each of their professional bodies will be giving them certain things to be done to be within the conduct of a professional. And we will also look into the 7 principles of public life, ethics in business, in terms of its role, importance, features, and as we saw at the end, how in an overall business environment, how ethics takes care of the interests of stakeholders and achieves the maximum happiness for the maximum people with the least pain. Let us first start with ethics as a concept. What does it indicate? Ethics is a set of moral principles. And these moral principles are shaped by cultural practices, religious influences, and social norms. It is a product of influences around it, and the three concepts of cultural, religious, and social impact the moral principles, and which in turn influences a person's behavior. And these principles which are affecting a person's behavior are coming under the concept of ethics. Ethics pertains to character, and which is derived from a Latin word, ethos. And we can compare this ethics to a compass which directs human behavior. How does it guide? It guides a person to act on the strength of honesty, integrity, morality, and good practices, and in the process it ensures that he does the right thing. It's a compass which facilitates right things to do. Ethics works at individual level, it works at the corporate level, and it works at the professional level also. Every professional body will have its own charter of do's and don'ts for its members. Now, let's get into the second part of it. What is its importance? What happens if ethical values are applied to business activities? As if business is guided by the ethical values. In the process, when a business is guided by ethical values, the workplace will be vibrating with the knowledge of what is right and what is wrong. And once the awareness of right and wrong is available, ethics guides them to focus on doing what is right. When only right things are done, it protects the interest of all people involved in the entire process of business. We call them as the stakeholders. This is just to drive home the idea that ethics is quite relevant to business because it facilitates domination of righteousness in business. All good things in business. Everything done supported by right thinking. Ethics is classified at a broader level for a conceptual understanding into three types. Normative. What normative does? Normative is more of prescriptive. Prescriptive means it's an advisory. It guides any situation. It says what should be done, what should not be done. For example, giving charity is good. It is a normative ethical statement. Murder is wrong. It is normative ethical statement. This is one type of ethics. Second is meta ethics. This is more involved in the studies. It studies the origin, meaning, and concept of ethics and ethical principles. Normative ethics prescribes, meta-ethics studies, and applied ethics is down to earth. It looks into practical application of ethics in a real life situation, and it examines practical issues. It looks into everything that happens around you and looks at its perspective from an ethical angle. We will discuss about business ethics. In business, you need to do optimum profit, maximum profit, no profit, only charity. Applied ethics. Capital punishment, is it right, wrong, how it is right, how it is wrong, why we should do it, why we shouldn't do it. It is applied ethics. Commercial surrogacy. Now, how moral it is, how ethical it is it good, can we do it? And we have got the medical euthanasia also. Is it moral to allow a person to die when he has got option of living? Abortion, one of the key issues on the religious front also. This is all coming under the theme of applied ethics. Three types of ethics: normative, meta, and applied. And in business ethics, we will be more concerned with the applied ethics part of it, exploring the ethical content and making the best use of it for business development. Ethics allows in a business situation to find out what is right and what is not right, and it acts as a compass to make you do what is right. Okay, it is allowing you to do what is right after study as a part of applied ethics. And what happens if a business works on very, very ethical lines, maximum good for maximum people? The moment a business house works in an ethical manner, it ends up building a very strong and stable management team. When you have a strong management team, it adds to the commercial life of a business. It runs for decades, centuries. We can take an example of Tata Group as such. Second, once people within an organization work to ethical requirements and they are very focused on it, it gives them a lot of confidence. And a confident person focuses to achieve the best in his operations, and that ensures that we have got the best employee efficiencies coming out. Business, with its strong ethical foundation, also gets you a good image outside. The way we were mentioning about the Tatas as a group. in the society, more than the business sphere, they will be having recognition across the spectrum of the various components of society. The surrounding environment, customers, general public, they all carry a very positive vibes about the business. Thus, ethics is relevant for survival, growth, prosperity, and social contentment of a society. Thus, ethics is all the more important to guide people to achieve the best by doing the right. We have professionals in every field. It can be a company secretary, it can be a cost accountant, or a chartered accountant, or an advocate, or a doctor. These are all professionals. They are experts in their field of service. They are into the industry of service. Let us focus on the accountant's profession, a professional accountant. He works. He may be in employment, or he may be just a service provider in his private capacity as a consultant or as an advisor. What does he do? He is privy to lot of information and data which is going to determine the success or otherwise of a business. He is a valuable asset to any business which is there. Quite valuable. You talk of any politician or any rich person, as and when there is an issue in terms of his income and returns of income tax, the professional accountant comes into picture to guide him properly, because he is privy to the confidential information which has to be used in an appropriate way in compliance with the law. A professional accountant, be it a company or any other organization, as a part of management team, he acts as a problem solver. He is readily available for solving a problem. He counts the incoming receipts. He is a scorekeeper. How is the business doing? What are its key parameters of business? How is it working? And business is not an opening and ending process. We have to be with the business through thick and thin throughout the day. And one has to draw the attention of the management for proper action in time in the course of business. Professional accountant, through his MIS and periodic reports and internal investigations and internal check system, he draws the attention of the management team and he helps them to take decisions at the appropriate time. Role of professional accountant is quite wonderful and it is quite important, and he is more recognized for his role to create wealth the right way by being very compliant with all the rules and regulations of business. What is this value chain? When you have an overall view of a business from end to end, take a retailer. A retailer first makes a market survey to find out what sells. Then he makes a sample of it. Then he places an order with the supplier. Then it comes as a part of the transportation. It comes into the warehouse, gets processed, comes into the shop, it gets displayed, and it is sold on the floor. Then the cash is collected, it is accounted, stock is maintained, and the balance is seen. Once again, the next season's purchase is made. This is a supply chain, sequence of activities. Every business has got a logical way of having activities after the other, and every activity adds value, and the aggregate of values of all these activities becomes the total sale of the company, sale value. Means in the value chain, you have a look at the sequence of activities. From the beginning till the end. And what a professional does in a value chain study, he visualizes the complete business, end to end, one end to the other. Customer focus. When you study a business and its growth, you study how is the customer feeling. Is he happy with the way we treat him? Is he happy with the product, with the price, with the merchandise, the way the ambience of the store is, how the customer service is? All these things are a study of the customer focus. Second, every business survives by benchmarking. My product should be better than my competition. My service should be way ahead of him. The way I service my customers should be unmatchable. Only then I can beat the competitors. Therefore, a professional accountant and a professional advisor tracks the key success factors in a business. And you can't be doing the same thing day after day after day in a business. You need to improve. And improvement is a continuous process. We give it the name of Kaizen. Kaizen is the process which has to be evident in our value chain. And when you do the analysis, you analyze the entire stream of activities from the time the idea is conceived till the product arrives and it is sold to the ultimate customer and his feedback is taken. When you have got a customer focus, you track and you benchmark with the competitor. You have got a Kaizen going on with you, and you review and improve your competitive advantage. You should have leadership in the market on the strength of this value chain study. This is having a lot of contribution coming from a professional accountant. Every professional body looks into certain minimum expectations to be adhered to by its member. For example, if I am a professional accountant and I am associated with the Institute of Cost Accountants, the Cost Accountants Institute will give me a guidance of do's and don'ts. And these things, when adhered to, will help to take the image of the institute to a very high level. It enhances the image of the profession. It talks of acceptable moral conduct and reasonably high standards. Now, what are they? We will see it separately in the mission statement of ICMAI, but just to see what professional ethics talks of is strict adherence to high standards and acceptable moral conduct with components of integrity, objectivity, professional competence, confidentiality, and professional behavior. A professional body, through its do's and don'ts list of things, which is being monitored and updated on an ongoing basis, looks into the misconduct of every member of the profession, because a member of the profession presents the image of the mother body to the whole world. And professional ethics plays a big role in building up competent and respectable professionals across the business world. Now, what this ICMA mission statement talks of, you could just have a look at it. It is a list of expectations from every member of the profession. Just to take, it says, maintain independence of thought. We should not be copycats. Our thought has to be independent, unbiased, and it is honed with skill. And whenever you express an opinion on reports or statements of the client, ensure that your opinion, based on a deeper study and understanding, stays independent, objective, and unbiased. It also says, whenever you express yourself or your opinion on a report or statement, see to it that you disclose all material facts. It should not be only part of the things revealed and part kept under wraps. You should also report on, are there any misstatements which are quite material, and there is a gap, generally accepted accounting principles. Are there any departures? We say in the report of auditors as qualifications, qualified reports, observations of the auditor. Any qualifications are there? It has to be a part of the functioning of an accountant. And as a professional accountant, you get to know a lot of details about your client. And be it a doctor or a lawyer or an accountant, everybody has got to respect it in terms of its confidentiality. It is available for use only in the exclusive course of his duties. It can't be used otherwise, nor can it be disclosed. And any disclosure requires approval of the client, unless there is a force from legal authorities seeking the information. And whenever you are approached by a client for an assignment, and if that assignment has got something personally to do with you, a professional accountant has to make it clear, does he have a conflict of interest in that? He can't be working for the client and at the same time has got his own personal axe to grind. Going further, any job a professional accountant takes up, it can't be in a hurry. He should understand what is the object and scope of work, and without fail, same time give a cost estimate to the client so that he has a fair understanding of what is the reward payable, so that he has got a very clear idea as to, is the assignment worth going ahead with the accountant. And this takes care of all future problems on confusion and communication, on consideration and issues and scope. It's all talking of clarity in understanding the assignment and also the reward system. And every professional owes respect to the fellow member of the community. ICMA Institute says, when you are reviewing the work of another, ensure that he is informed of that. It is with his knowledge and you find what you are doing is professionally permissible and essential. It is a matter of decency and respect for the fellow professional that before you start a review of work of another, he is informed, because we both belong to the same community of professionals. And among the fellow professionals, good faith and courtesy is always required, on the work and off the work. It is the professional's reputation which is at stake. And a member of an institute has to be honing his skills on an ongoing basis, and he has to meet the standards of competence by updating himself on the latest of things to be known by a professional accountant in the course of work, and also to be aware of the goings on in the corporate field. He has to maintain standards of competence, and when he takes an assignment, he has to ensure that the assignments are compatible with his competence. He can't bite more than what he can chew. It has to be first assessed in terms of, am I competent to take this assignment? When you talk of competence, it is competence from all angles, in terms of the academic qualification, physical resources, and the resources which are required in terms of professional support. All these things are to be seen. If it is compatible, then only you should take the assignments. Now, this is as indicated in the mission statement of ICMAI, which is insisted upon in the course of work to ensure you have business strictly in the professional sense of the term. Any failure intentionally done will be construed as a professional misconduct, which is detrimental to the person involved, and it is bringing bad name to the institute also. That way, professional accountants, considering their role and their contribution to the value chain and their say in the professional ethical matters, are governed by the mission statement of their institute, and it highlights their duty to the government, to their employers, to their clients, to their colleagues, to their fellow members, and to the institute and to the country as a whole. And all this is focused because professional accountant's position is a very, very important position in the business and its ethics. As a part of business ethics, we get into Lord Nolan, who headed a committee in UK, which in 1995 gave out a report indicating 7 principles of public life, highlighted as compliances expected from a public servant. Anyone who is appointed to a public office or elected to a public office or chosen for a public office, he has to ensure that he brings to bear upon his working style the basic principles which are listed in the report of Lord Nolan, which is updated from time to time, but the basic features remain 7, which are highlighted here. A person holding a public office, he says, he has to be service oriented, always act in public interest, a man of integrity. Don't misuse the facilities for personal benefits. And he is always focused on serving the public. There is no conflict of personal interest or family interest or private interest. He is very much focused in public interest. Then everything a public office holder looks from a non-discriminatory angle. He's impartial, he's fair, and he looks into the merit of a thing before deciding in its favor. And as a fourth principle, all his decisions in office are open to public scrutiny. The public servant holds himself accountable for all his decisions. And disclosure, openness is the fifth feature or fifth principle of public life. It is an open book. Anything that you have decided upon, you throw open the records in support of the decision, and there is perfect transparency so that there is no scope for misunderstanding and wrong quotations. Anything that facilitates the decision is open to everyone. And uprightness, truthfulness, honesty, it comes first in this entire process. And we find public servants or people holding public office are always in the forefront of every struggle and fight. They are in the forefront. They have followers behind. They are leaders by their positive behavior and staying ahead of everyone and leading the people. And these 7 principles are quite relevant from an ethical angle also, because as a person brings these 7 qualities in the course of his decisions, the confidence of the public in the position and the person and in the system just grows, and the whole atmosphere remains positive. For all positivity, the 7 principles of public life contribute in a very substantial way. Another part of this business and ethics is, how is ethics in business? How does it work in business? What do you mean by business ethics? Let's take it up. Business ethics is literally you apply ethical rules to business. You bring the concept of morality into business. Anything that is touched by ethics becomes gold. It has got that capacity to lighten the thing and take it up. Ethical rules inject vibrancy into the business. Why it's important? Why ethics in business is important? It's important for a simple reason. It ensures all stakeholders stand to gain. When the organization, groups and individuals, when everybody does the right thing, the right way, it can move in only one direction. That is the direction of growth and prosperity. That is why ethics in business is very important. It benefits all stakeholders because it brings in the right chemistry across the groups, across organizations. And that is the importance of ethics in business. Just like we saw in 7 principles of public life, we have got 7 principles in business ethics also. Although we may find sometimes a bit of overlap, but it deserves a mention to look into all the 7 principles. These are all guidelines of personal behavior to stay ahead as a leader. What it says, you should gain the trust of people. Be trustful. And if you make a commitment, keep that commitment, meet the obligations. And on whatever you do, have proper documentation. Nothing oral. You need to have supporting documents on whatever you do in business, because it is the documents that are the future. And group efforts, working in a team, in a business organization, has no alternative. It is a must. There is no other alternative to teamwork. Get the community involved. It is not only you, it's your team, their family, and the society, and the whole set of people in the background and in the surroundings. And it says this is a human behavior which is beneficial to everybody. Be respectful. Be it an employee or a vendor or a government official or a general public or a local body representative. Be respectful. That is a part of ethics. And maintain accounting control. No general, conventional, casual accounting. It has to be formal. What you receive, what you pay, what you earn, what you spend, it should be under strict accounting control on an ongoing basis, subject to strict internal check and internal control. Check and balance is a part of your business ethics. And always keep your parachute open. Keep open mind. Don't be closed. The moment you are closed, you lose out in the entire business game. Now, these 7 principles are a must in business, and they call it as 7 principles in business ethics. And a slide later, we will be looking into how these 7 principles deliver more than what you expect to all the stakeholders. And what are the areas in business ethics? When we say areas in business ethics, we say what is its coverage? When I say involve the society, involve the people around you, involve the family, we are talking of corporate social responsibility. It is not only commitment to customers, employees, it is the society at large. And when you run a business, it is a trusteeship that you are talking of. You are managing the resources of a group of people who are owners of the business. You are a trustee, and they have entrusted the things to you, trusting your capabilities and your ability to work in a fiduciary capacity. Means when a person works for another person's benefit, he is said to have been working fiduciarily. In business, you have to respect this concept of trusteeship. And market research is a part of business. We study the market, we study the competitor, we study the competitor's processes. For what reason? The reason is market edge, for a business advantage. But what business ethics tells us is, you have got a right to have market leadership and market edge. But please ensure that you are following an ethical path. You can't use undue means to spy on your competitor. Do it the right way. It can be a proper investigation, but it cannot be covert. It cannot be with bad intentions. Industrial espionage, it has to be totally professional. Now, these are the three areas where business ethics expects you to be doing more than what is normally expected, and understand the special implication of these three areas. And in business, we also find that there are many unethical practices on reporting of business income. We could have seen in Satyam Computers, it is on reporting of income. The unethical practice was found. Falsifying documents, selling the same property with two documents. Creative accounting, just using accounting principles to inflate or deflate incomes or expenses. It may be professionally right, but ethically wrong. If there is a wrong provision or wrong requirement in the Income Tax Act, as a professional, your job is not to exploit it, but your job is to highlight it and save the government any financial loss arising therefrom. Insider trading, this is in case of finance. You get some information on a company and you influence your set of people to buy or sell the share in the market and benefit unduly. Undue income. Tipping. You tip the people with information, inside information. And you put an advertisement and you put therein misleading information just to deceive. It's unethical. Racial issues. When you advertise a brand, you highlight certain terms, certain tribes derogatorily. And there are controversial products, maybe liquor or tobacco. You put it in surrogative advertisements, alcohol and tobacco. In the name of advertising mineral water, you will be using the brand name of a popular liquor. This is all unethical, common unethical practices. And when it comes to HR, you will encourage child labor by employing minors. You will be hard on employees by putting inflexible working hours. You will be forcing people through incentive system for increased productivity under inhuman conditions. And you might remove people without following the due process of law, maybe termination without fair notice or cause. For personal use, property of the company, facilitating theft or fraud, accurate disclosures but incomplete, loans to directors or something like that, not disclosed properly. All these are a part of common unethical practices. They may be from the accountant, they may be from the finance, they may be from the marketing. It can also come from HR, and it can also come from the management accounting and management information system. The business ethics, by highlighting these things, as we saw, tells us what not to do. It's a combination of highlighting what to do and what not to do and doing more of what to do. And that brings us to the question, do you really need business ethics? What is the need for business ethics? Business ethics takes your performance image up in the society. You will be proud to reveal that ethically you have achieved so much. You have contributed so much to the society. And once the business has got its philosophy right, the entire team thinks and works ethically. And that helps the business, that helps the society to build ethical business groups to really represent the value of the country. one or two groups of the country are enough to put you on a high pedestal. Take a Tata Group, or take Infosys, or take Wipro. These names are enough to represent you on an international platform, because these are the businesses run most ethically and consistently year on year. Thus, ethics in business is quite important, and it is relevant, and it is essential, because it adds value and takes your image, confidence, team and status in the world very, very high, and you will be recognized in the society for being so kind-hearted. Just to see, we have seen here now ethics in business. What is its meaning? Why it is important? How does it work with 7 principles in business ethics? And what are the 3 areas in business ethics? What are the normal unethical practices which are to be done away with, and what we should do more of for incorporating ethics into business to build on our national, social and international image. Now, we have seen the 7 principles in business ethics. Be trustful, meet obligations, have a clear document, get community involved, be respectful, accounting control and open mind. We need to recognize that these are relevant to all stakeholders in a business. Take a business environment. Who are the joint owners of a business? We call them as stakeholders in the environment. They will be the owners or shareholders. They expect something. Financiers, those who have given loans to the company, or their suppliers, vendors of spare parts, materials, consumables. Government is one of the parties. Society at large looks up to you. You have your customers, you have your competitors, and also your employees. All these people put together form the business environment, and every business has to maximize happiness of each one of these the right way. Maximum of happiness to the maximum number of people, the most ethical way, is the principle here. This is just to understand how business ethics gets into the entire business environment and facilitates success and win-win for everybody who is involved. Let us just take the shareholders. What are they looking for? They are looking for optimum return on investment. They are not looking at profiteering. They want optimum return on investment. How does it happen? We have got the 7 principles. First one is be trustful. Be trustful. Protect shareholders. This is what you do ethically. Then you have the financiers. They have lent you money. What they want? They want payment in time, and they want the returns. Repay the money, also give them the interest. There should be no defaults, absolutely. How does an ethical business permit it? Meet obligations. Develop good relations with them. It's a matter of trust between you and your suppliers. Once you do that, you automatically achieve the happiness and welfare of your vendors and financiers. Then comes government. Government is the largest facilitator in any business. What does the government require? It requires compliance with the law and a good corporate governance. No mismanagement, no corruption. This is what the government expects. Fall in line with the rules and regulations and follow them. And how do you do it? Have a look at it. Have clear documents. Anything that you do is on record. maintain accounting control, and stop business malpractice. If you do these things, you are perfectly ethical. You are on the right path. That done, you come to customers. What does a customer expect? Quality of the product or service, value for money. Give me things which I pay for. No poor quality, and excellent service is what I want. How do I do it ethically? My principle says, be respectful to the customer, create good image, improve customer satisfaction, and respect his rights as a customer. He is helping you to build your business. He brings business to you. And if there is a consumer movement, support it in whatever way you can. Whatever consumer movement objectives are there, as a business entrepreneur, if you can contribute there. And that way, ethics helps the business customer also. And coming back, we have got the market competitor. What do we expect from the competition? No undercutting, no poor trade practices. Then what else? I should be improving upon my product and my offerings, and it should be a continuous process, Kaizen, constant improvement on a day-to-day basis I need to do. And only then I can be the leader in the market, most ethically, not by bad practices. And what does ethical system have? Keep an open mind. Always study the market. Study the market. Keep an open mind. And don't conclude. Don't be judgmental. Keep improving your processes. Work for a healthy competition. And you should move from survival to leadership. Survive today and tomorrow work to become a market leader. And competitors taken care of. Then employees. What do the employees expect? Welfare and reward. There should be no exploitation and no deprival. And we find our 7 principles talk of get community involved. Don't do it all alone. Recognize the importance of labor. Respect them. Respect their position. Dignity of labor. Protect the employees. It is the weak who needs to be guarded, who needs to be protected. Ethical business environment calls for these things. In the process, we find an ethical business environment gets optimum ROI to shareholders, being trustful. To the financiers, it meets obligations and makes them proper repayment with returns. To the government, strict compliance with clear documents and maintaining accounts. To the customers, always value for money and creates good image. And market competition, always keeping open mind, and Kaizen, constant improvement for market leadership. And so far as employees is concerned, welfare and rewarding, at the same time getting the community involved, protecting the employees, and recognizing the importance of labor. Business ethics highlights this. This is the ultimate achievement of business ethics, wherein every stakeholder in the business environment gets the best of things without depriving anything rightfully due to others. It is all lawful gains for growth, stability, and happiness. And such is the beauty of business ethics. Please let me know your comments. I'm extremely thankful to you. Thanks a lot.